Good afternoon, everyone. In the last class, I gave you an assignment on the trying out the joins in the SQL. But most of you have shown me, and you were like having problem with the full join. Okay, I don't know. Even I tried, so I'm getting some error too. But there is no syntax error. Okay, this is a syntax for the full join. When I tried for others, so it was working. So let's hope I'll today may not be I won't be showing you, maybe tomorrow I'll have a discussion on the that part. So today let me revise the ER diagram. Okay, and then once the ER diagram we revise, we can directly move to the fourth module because we are done with the third module. Okay, first, second, third module are done. So we'll go for the normalization after that. So if you people still have any confusion in these three modules, whichever slides I shared with you people, so you can just ping me and tell me that you have confusion, then I can just stop and then explain it to you. Okay, but I think this ER diagram is one of the important topic. So in RDBMS, so I'm just explaining it to you once again. Okay. So this ER diagram, it stands for Entity Relationship Data Model, right? It is one of the data model in DBMS. So we have there various concepts here, like what does this entity stands for? Anything in the real world which has independent existence is known as an entity. For example, student is an entity, teach faculty is an entity, car has an entity. So all these things, vehicle is an entity. So all these things in real world have independent existence. So that is why it is known as entity. So and if there is entity, there are some attributes related to it. So the attribute means the properties of that properties of that entities. Okay, something that describe the entities is known as the attributes. So there are various kinds of attributes. Okay, you people are aware of it because I have discussed this thing. Still try to recall. Okay, types of attributes. So these are the various types of attributes in uh, ER relationship model. So composite versus simple attributes. Simple attributes are also known as the atomic attributes. Single valued and multi-valued attributes. Stored versus derived attributes. Null values and complex attributes. Now let's check this one by one. So just now we have seen that entities are something that have physical existence. So you can think this employee is an entity. Okay, then again the the department is again an entity. Then project is also an entity. So these all things have the real world existence. And what is the property of the employee? Okay, so it can be name, it can be employee ID, again date of birth. So whatever things we have implemented are basically the attributes. So here you can see various attributes and the values for the that attributes. It's just kind of a revision kind of thing, people. So if we want to discuss also, it's okay because we people are aware of it. I don't know you have gone through the slides or not. That's the thing. Now let's discuss the types of attributes. So the very first was simple versus composite attribute. So simple attribute will be something which will have single values. Single values, right? We have this like the um, we have employee ID. Okay, employee ID will be single, your roll number. Even the sex, that is the gender, it will be either single valued only, either it will be male, female, right? Again, we have composite. Composite, it means it will be a combination of the simple attributes. Several components will be there. So like we have the address or name. So name can be comprised of the first name, last name, and also first name, middle name, and the last name. Similarly, for address also, we can have house number, street number, then what else? Pin code, state, city, zip code. So all these things falls under the composite attributes. Okay, generally this forms a composition will form a hierarchy of it. So you can see why it is called hierarchy. See, address is composed of street address, city, state, and zip. Again, this street address is composed of number, street, and apartment number, right? Ultimately, this number has the hierarchy, like number. You can see the street address, again there is address, right? So it forms the hierarchy. The different levels are there. So this composed attributes. So this is a composed attribute, right? Address is a composite attribute. So which itself can have another composite attribute like the street number. Okay, composite means the attribute can be broken down. Next we have multiple value. So some attributes may have multiple value uh, for an attribute. Okay, for example, we have maybe the color of a, yeah, you have a certain car, certain vehicle. So that can be like you can differentiate based on the color, maybe blue, black, red, silver, white, whatever. And then also the previous degree. If someone mentions your previous degree, so it will be comprising of 2 degrees for you now, right? Like you have class 10 plus 2 and class 10. Similarly, for me, it may be maybe 4 attributes. Okay, it may be like multi-values. Maybe my PG, my UG, my 12, my 10. So this, so we denote this multi-valued attribute using this curly braces. So whenever you see this curly braces, you have to understand that this is referring to the multi-valued attribute. Next, we have the derived attribute. Whenever something like whenever there is an attribute that can be derived from a particular attribute, then it is called a derived attribute. For example, we can, if someone mentions the date of birth, we can easily count the age, right? So that age is the uh, derived attribute from the date of birth. So you have studied. I was giving you example in when I was teaching you this one in the earlier classes. Derived class and base class, whatever you studied in C programming, C++. So what happens? This date of birth, you can think of the base class. So from this base class, we can have this age. So if someone mentions the date of birth, we can get the age of, we can count the age of that person. Next is the stored attribute. Now, what does this stored attribute means? See, birth date is the derived class. So this base class is known as the stored attribute. Okay, here the base class is known as a stored attribute. So here it mentions an attribute from which a derived attribute can be computed is known as the stored attribute. Next, we have null value. Okay, so in some cases it may be not applicable. Suppose if you are like someone who have not like for whom education qualification, who have not gone through school, like, or does not have any degrees, so who have not studied till class 10 plus 10th also, so we that previous degree will be also not applicable for him. Or similarly, someone does not have a car, the color of the car does not matter to him because that property is not applicable for him, right? Even for address also, someone stays in flat. Okay, someone stays in own house, apartment. So if I stay, suppose I stay in a flat, for me flat number matters, but you stay in your own house, that in your own house that flat number will not be there, right? So it not be applicable. So for such things, not applicable or unknown option should be here, so we can use the null value for that case. So also I said repeatedly one more thing, that null value is different from 0. 0 is an integer value. Okay, it's a value. But null value means it is not applicable. That is any. Now, complex attributes. So, complex attributes basically it's a nesting of the composite and the multivalued attributes. So, like we have this, when I just mentioned right now, when we use this curly braces, it means we have to understand this is talking about the, telling me about the multivalued attribute. Now, these previous degrees will compose of some composite attributes like the college, year, degree, field. So, probably, like for me, in my case, I have done my schooling from different, even 12th from different. So, for me, these things will be varying, right? Now, if you do from the same school also, that thing, again, you have to write it twice only. For these things will be same. But for me, I have done my 10th in different board and 12th in different board. So it will comprise in this attribute. Okay, so this previous degree is basically a multi-valued attribute and it is composed of this college year degree field. Now we have the entity types. So basically collection of entities that have the same attribute. So you can see here this employee have the properties as name, age and salary. Okay, these are the attributes of it. Okay, and company attributes are name, headquarters, president. Okay, so you can see this John Smith is an employee and also John Smith is a working in some company, right? Then Fred, I think Bob King is someone is working. So this is these are the matching attributes can we have, right? We have studied the department table where we have the location ID, right? And we also have the location ID. We have the location. So you can think of that one. Now you are aware of these things. Now we come to the entity relationship model. So here we know it's a conceptual model. So I just told you cannot implement this model. This is just a conceptual model, right? So we have the from this ER model we get the just the idea that how the what are the tables are there, what are the tables will be present in the database that you create using the MySQL, and also the what will be the relationship among for these entities. Okay, and we represent the ER like entities in rectangular box and attributes in oval. Now each attribute is connected to an entity type. Okay, and components of a composite attribute are connected to the oval representing the composite attribute. Key attribute, that is a primary key, is underlined and multi-valued attributes are displayed in double ovals. Now let's check. So these are the conventions for it. So you can see this is the entity. Entity is represented in rectangle. Weak entity, since it's a weak entity, it won't have a primary key of its own. So it is the weak entity and it is represented by double rectangle. Relationship is represented by a diamond shape. Then identifying relationship or the weak relationship is represented by double diamond symbol. This oval symbol is represented representing the attribute. Then again in the oval symbol, if you see an underline, this is the key attribute. Multi-value double oval, composite. So it is suppose here is a name is there, so it comprises of F name, middle name, last name. So this is a composite, and derived you represent using this dotted lines, dotted ovals. Next, we have the total participation and cardinality ratios. We'll study. Obviously, we have studied all these things if you can remember. So here you can see car entity is there with two key attributes. So it is also possible that a table that entity have two key attributes, two unique identifying factor. For example, for a car, we can have the registration number and the vehicle ID. Both can serve as the key attributes, right? It will be different for everyone. This is color is a multi-valued attribute. Again, registration number is a composite attribute. Okay, so you can see from this oval to other ovals, this registration number, since it comprises of the state and the number. So here it was an example was given. You have to find out the summary case study. I'm not going through it. So from this we have this initial diagram. So you can understand from this case study you have to find out your entities. A case study will be provided to you. You have to find out, you have to identify the entities, and then you can mention the properties by your own. Like what do you think the attributes can be there for an employee? What are the things you can have a department? So this is how you initially draw it. Okay, so this employee will be having SSN as the primary key and all other things. This name as a composite attribute, and department will be their birth date will be their address, supervisor. Then there is again multi-value attribute he works on. Then dependent is there, project is there. So you have to just not build it. You have to go through this case study. You have to read the case study to come up with this. Okay, initial conceptual design. Okay, you have to find the attributes. Sorry, you have to find the entities by studying the case summary. Okay, once done, Then we'll move to the relationship. You have to first, you have initially found out the entities. Now we have to find out the relationship. So before we have to discuss what is a relationship. Now you know, but still a revision. So what will a relationship will do? It will relate, or it will connect two or more distinct entities with a specific meaning. So you can see two entities are here, artist and song. So artist performs is a perform song. It is a relationship. Performs is a relationship. Always remember the relationship must be, the word you use for the relationship must be verb. Okay. Suppose we have this employee will be works on the project. Okay. Similarly, employee manages the research department. So you have to find out the relationship. It's totally conceptual. Now we have the relationship type. So you can see the relationship of the same type are grouped into a relationship type. So just example, we saw that the employee works on project. So this is the same type of works on the project, right? This is the same kind of relation. So we have included that entity only. So it is already mentioned. So in AR diagrams, we represent relationship using the diamond shaped box, and we connect the two entities using the straight lines, the diamond. So degree of a relationship type is like the number of participating entity types is known as the degree of a relationship. It can be binary if there are two entities, or ternary or n-ary, depending on the number of relationship. But in general, we should try to avoid the ternary or the higher order of relationship. So relationship types of degree 2 are called the binary, and just now I said, and degree 3 are ternary. So here you can think this offers the relationship, okay, and it is connected to entities instructor, semester and course. So this is a ternary relationship because three entities are connected. So we must try to avoid this kind of relationship. But this is absolutely fine, like taught during. So taught during is the relationship between instructor and semester. It's a binary relationship. Only two entities are involved. Okay. Similarly, can teach also, only two relationship is involved. But we must try to avoid the ternary. So all these things we should try to avoid, where three entities are involved. Now weak entity types. Okay, now what does this weak entity types means? They do not have key attributes of their own. That key attributes means a unique key. Okay, then identified by being related to specific entity. So you, how do you like find out the dependent relationship? By referring to the employee relationship, right? That is, it's saying that we find out identified by being related to specific entity. So we have the dependent entity. We can find the dependent of it once we have the employee number for it. We'll just check. Next, identity relationship relates a weak entity type to its owner. Always has a total participation. We'll discuss what is total participation. And it is represented in double rectangle, and also weak relationship will have, we always have the identifying relationship, that is the weak relationship. Now we have role names and recursive relationships. So role names and recursive relationships are like role names like signify the role of the participating entity plays in each relationship instance, and recursive relationship like same entity type can participate, like we have the recursion in C programming, or like any programming language, recursion concept is there. Similarly here also it's possible for like entity to like participate in various roles. For example, here you can see the supervision relationship is there. Supervision, okay, here this supervisor and supervisee, there are two roles of the same entity, employee. One will be serving as a supervisor, and the other will be serving as a supervisee. And you can see this is also a binary relationship, but it is pointing to the same entity. So this kind of relationship is known as the recursive relationship. Okay. Okay, this was, so you can see, because in the employee only one will be the supervisor and one will, and others will be the supervising. Now constraints on relationship types. So you can see various constraints are there. That is the so you have two main relationship constants. First is the cardinality and the participation constants. So cardinality, you can set this n 1 1 1. So whatever you see are the cardinality constant, and the double line, single line you see are the participation constant. Let's check one by one. So cardinality ratios for binary relationships, there are possible this one to one, one to many, or many to one, or many to many. So now let's go back. Okay. So you have to think about it. How will you give the cardinality of it? So we have to think like this employee. This is a recursive relationship, and their supervisor. This is supervisee. Okay. So you should remember in there will be only one supervisor, and there can be n number of supervisee under him. So that is 1 is to n. Similarly, employee department. Okay, employee and department is the relation type is works for. So n number of employee, you have to check two ways for giving the cardinality. Just think, n number of employees can work for a single department. Yes, and one department can in one department n number of employees can be present. So that is how we can do it. Any confusion is cardinality. Similarly, managers department. Okay, you can see one employee will be there, only one employee will be the manager. So that is, and one employee will be managing the one department. One department can control n number of projects. Now go for the reverse one. N number of projects, like many projects can be like done by one department, single department, right? It will be handled by single department. Any confusion in the cardinality part?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is just a revision of it, but I hope you people have studied this thing. This is very important. Okay, whatever I mentioned, it's written here. I can go through it. Next is the participation constant. So there are also participation constant. Also two types of participation is there. Total participation, like meaning that the total set of one entity must be related to another entity via relationship existence. The total participation is also called as existence dependency, and another is the partial participation, meaning some or part of the entity will be related. So just check, go back. Okay, you can see this employee, obviously the employee, they have to think, work for the department. All the employees have to work for the department, and similarly the department will work this wholeheartedly. So and here only one, so it will be also one employee will be managing all the departments, right? So you have to ask certain kinds of questions, so you can just go for these things. Okay, you will have a brief idea. Plus please start studying, high time. We have already completed third module. We are left with the fourth and fifth, and then its syllabus will be over. Okay. So this is how you refine, and the last diagram you get is this one. This is a final diagram. Okay. So just I was saying, this is the weak entity. Dependent is a weak entity, and we have the identifying relationship, that is a weak relationship. Okay, and how it is found out, this dependent is this weak entity is found out by relating to the employee. So employee is the corresponding entity. So you have that is how you related to it. Okay, any confusion? Students, please go through these three modules. I am sharing with you the slides. I don't know you are opening it or not, but please go through it. Any part you are confused about? Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then this was it from my side today then. So tomorrow I think, can I start with module 4 then tomorrow? Yes, can I start
Okay,
with
ma'am.
module? Or you need revision of any module? Okay, then I'll start with module. Okay. Okay, let me take the attendance. Okay, thank you everyone. So you all can leave for today. So tomorrow we'll meet again.